Let me ask you something honestly. Not a nice question. A real one. How long have you been learning English, but still feeling unsure when you need to speak? Not days. Not weeks. Years. And that's the part that hurts, not because English is hard, but because time keeps moving whether you improve or not. If this video found you late at night, tired, maybe a little frustrated, let me say this clearly. This is not about English. This is about you feeling stuck in the same place for too long. Most people think English stays in memory because of intelligence. Because of good teachers. Because of strong grammar. But the truth is uncomfortable. English stays in your memory only when it becomes part of your life, not part of your plans. Let me stop you here for a moment. Because this is important. If English hasn't stayed in your memory yet, it's not because you're slow. It's because the way you've been learning it was never designed to last. Think about your routine. You watch videos. You save posts. You open apps. You feel motivated for a few days. Then life happens. Work. Family. Stress. And English quietly disappears again. You don't quit. You pause. And pausing feels safe. But pausing is exactly why nothing changes. Most people don't forget English because their memory is weak. They forget because English never becomes necessary. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time English was part of your day, not as study, but as use? Not notes. Not rules. Use. If you can't answer that clearly, that's not a memory problem. That's a habit problem. And habits decide what stays. Most people wait to feel ready. They say, I'll speak when I remember more words. I'll use English when I feel confident. I'll practice when I have time. But readiness is a lie that sounds responsible. Let me be very honest with you, like a big brother would. If English hasn't stayed in your memory yet, it's because you keep treating it like a visitor, not like something that belongs in your life. And visitors are always forgotten. In a moment, I'll show you the simple reason why your brain lets English slip away so easily, even after months of learning. But before that, you need to see yourself clearly. Right now, you understand more English than you think. You can follow videos. You can read simple content. You can recognize words. But when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. That blank feeling is not forgetting. It's fear mixed with hesitation. Your brain doesn't store what you avoid. It stores what you repeat under pressure. Most people avoid English in real moments. So the brain decides. This is not important. And what is not important never stays. Let me pause again. If English was truly part of your daily life, even for 10 minutes, you wouldn't be questioning your memory right now. You wouldn't be here searching for another explanation. The painful truth is this. English doesn't stay in your memory because you don't give it a reason to stay. You study it. But you don't live it. And your brain is very honest. It keeps what you use. It deletes what you only admire from a distance. Most people don't want to hear this. Because it removes excuses. It means the problem is not lack of talent. Not lack of resources. Not lack of time. It's lack of daily contact. And I know what you're thinking right now. But I've tried before. Yes. You tried motivation. But motivation fades. Memory doesn't grow on motivation. It grows on repetition and necessity. Let me say something clearly, and I want you to sit with it. If English hasn't stayed in your memory yet, it's because your life doesn't yet require it and you've been protecting yourself from that discomfort. That's not weakness. That's being human. But staying here too long has a cost. Years pass. Opportunities pass. Confidence stays low. And one day you realize you didn't fail English. You avoided it. This part of the video is not here to fix you. It's here to wake you up. Because once you see the real reason English doesn't stay, you stop blaming yourself and you stop lying to yourself. In the next part, we're going to talk about the exact mistakes that keep people stuck in this cycle for years and why most learning methods quietly make it worse. But for now, sit with this question honestly. Is English missing from your memory? Or missing from your daily life? Good. If you're still here, it means something inside you didn't look away. Now let's talk honestly. No motivation talk. No encouragement lines. Just truth. Most people don't stay stuck in English because they are lazy. They stay stuck because they keep repeating the same mistakes, quietly, patiently, for years. Let me show you what those mistakes really are. The first one is overstudying. You keep preparing. You keep collecting information. You keep learning about English. Grammar rules. Word lists. Tips. Methods. But you delay the one thing that actually builds memory, use. Most people think memory comes first, then usage. But the truth is the opposite. Memory is a result of use. Let me stop you here for a moment. If studying alone worked, you would already be fluent. You wouldn't be watching another video right now. Overstudying feels productive, but it's safe. It protects you from embarrassment. It protects you from mistakes. And safety is the enemy of memory. Your brain does not store what feels optional. It stores what feels required. The second mistake is passive watching. You watch videos like this one. You understand. You agree. You nod your head. And then you move on. But understanding is not training. Watching English is not using English. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How many videos have you watched about learning English? Without speaking a single sentence out loud afterward? That's not learning. That's consumption. And consumption creates the illusion of progress. Your brain feels busy, but nothing changes. Here is the uncomfortable truth I promised you. You don't remember English because your brain never gets proof that English matters in your real life. Now the third mistake, and this one is the most damaging. Fear of mistakes. You avoid speaking because you don't want to sound wrong. You don't want to pause. You don't want to search for words. So you wait. But waiting trains the brain to freeze. Every time you choose silence, your brain learns one thing. English is dangerous. And what the brain sees as dangerous, it avoids storing deeply. Let me say this very clearly. Mistakes do not damage your English. Avoidance does. Now let's shift perspective, just slightly. Most people think English is a subject. A skill to master before using. But English is not a subject. English is a tool. You don't master tools before touching them. You touch them, struggle, adjust, and then improve. This is the mindset shift. Stop asking, do I remember enough English? Start asking, did I use English today? Even badly. Even simply. Even for 2 minutes. Let me give you something practical now, not complicated, not impressive. A simple system your brain understands. First, reduce input, increase output. Stop watching 5 videos a day. Start speaking for 5 minutes a day. Talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing. I'm making tea. I'm tired today. I don't understand this. Simple. Clear. Useful. Second, use English daily, not occasionally. Once a week feels heavy. Once a day feels normal. 5 minutes daily beats 1 hour on Sunday. Memory follows frequency. Third, accept being bad on purpose. Tell yourself this clearly. For the next 30 days, I allow myself to be bad at English. No pressure. No correction obsession. Pressure blocks memory. Permission unlocks it. Now let me stop again, because this is where people usually quit. They hear this and think, it's too simple. Yes. Simple works. Complex distracts. Your brain doesn't need more information. It needs repetition in real conditions. And here's the part most people ignore. Your environment matters. If English only exists on your phone screen, your brain will treat it like entertainment. English needs friction. English needs presence. English needs to enter your day, even quietly. And no, you don't need a new app. You don't need a new course. You don't need a perfect plan. You need courage to use what you already know. In the next part, we're going to talk about something deeper. Not techniques. Identity. Why some people finally break through, not because they learned more, but because they changed how they see themselves. How discipline beats motivation. How consistency rewires confidence. And how English becomes something you are, not something you study. This is where things shift. So tell me honestly, if you're still here, I want you to notice something. You didn't stay because this was entertaining. You stayed because something inside you recognized the truth. And now we need to talk about the final shift, the one most people never make. This is not about learning more English. This is about who you believe you are. Most people wait for motivation. They wait to feel confident. They wait for the right mood. But motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. Discipline is different. Discipline is quiet. It stays even when you don't feel like showing up. Let me say this clearly. People who improve their English long-term are not more talented. They are more consistent. Talent looks impressive in the beginning. Consistency looks boring. But consistency changes identity. When you use English every day, even for a few minutes, something subtle happens. You stop thinking of English as a task. You start thinking of it as something you do. And what you do regularly becomes part of who you are. This is the identity shift. You stop saying, I am learning English. You start saying, I use English. That sentence changes everything. Let me stop you here. Read that again in your mind. I use English. Not perfectly. Not confidently. But consistently. Most people think confidence comes first. They think, once I feel confident, I'll speak. But confidence is not a requirement. Confidence is a result. It comes after repetition. After showing up tired. After speaking badly and surviving it. Confidence is calm. Not loud. Not dramatic. It's the quiet knowledge that you didn't avoid yourself today. Now let's make this practical. No complicated system. No big promises. Here is a simple structure your brain understands. First, 10 minutes daily. Not an hour. Not perfection. 10 minutes, when you are tired, 10 minutes. When you feel awkward, 10 minutes. When you feel confident, 10 minutes. Consistency matters more than mood. Second, speak before you feel ready. Readiness is a story fear tells you. You don't become ready and then act. You act and readiness follows. Use simple sentences. I need help. I don't understand. I will try again. Communication is not beauty. Communication is clarity. Third, track days, not fluency. Don't ask, am I fluent yet? Ask, did I show up today? Mark days on a calendar. Day 1. Day 5. Day 15. Momentum changes how you see yourself. You start respecting your own effort. Fourth, stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. You only see their result. You don't see their early mistakes. Comparison steals focus. Focus builds progress. Your journey is private. Your pace is valid. Now let me ground this emotionally. English is not just about language. It changes how you experience life. When you can express yourself, you stop feeling invisible. You speak in meetings. You apply for opportunities. You stop replaying conversations in your head. You don't become arrogant. You become stable. And here is the strongest realization of all. No video will change your life. Not this one. Not the next one. Only decisions change lives. This video can guide you, but your daily actions decide the outcome. So here is your simple commitment. Starting today. Speak English for 10 minutes daily. Use simple sentences. Stop translating. Accept mistakes. Be consistent for 90 days. That's it. Not 10 apps. Not 5 courses. One habit. If you feel behind, tired, or disappointed in yourself, listen carefully. You are not broken. You are just undisciplined. And discipline is a skill. Skills can be learned. You are closer than you think. If this message helped you think clearly, like this video. If you want guidance that respects your intelligence, subscribe to this channel. And tell me in the comments honestly. What is the one thing that stops you from using English every day? I'll see you in the next video. Stay consistent.